somebody with a strange phenotype and a strange name. It is ours! We will fight and die for this.
Holdings on the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness. This is in your court now. Remove these. My heart bleeds that my own people have guns. If I step across the street.
Protests in Jamaica officially start. In
this video, we take a look at this series of demonstrations and protests that happened in Jamaica over a few days ago. So let's watch the following videos so that we get to know the variety of reasons that trigger this particular demonstrations. But before we watch the videos, if you haven't yet liked the video, kindly like the video and also subscribe to the channel. Let's watch the videos together.
Protests in Jamaica officially start. In St. Mary right now, the people them are protest about JPS take more than 10 days to bring back the electricity to the places, see me? And I see same thing we are experiencing up here right now. But upside Clarendon. Enough people in the comment section attack say how the people them wait and attack say how the people them work at JPS are human just like we. JPS have all the time before Hurricane Beryl pass through to grow in a place and see tree them we want to cut down and tree we want to limb up on them the thing there. Why they never do it before the hurricane pass through? Them Jamaican people get so used to bad service that they not even know what good service is. Long time they should have passed through and make sure everybody got current back already. Hire more people if I say KSB. Because what amount of money JPS I make off away? And then can hire one and two people. So when I think people, and if you say JPS I do them best to make sure say everybody get back current as soon as possible. Or if you say they could have do more before Hurricane Beryl pass through. If you ensure say as Hurricane Beryl pass through, they make a few checks quick and make everybody get back then current. Let me know what you think in the comment section.
No man shoot me in my head and kill me because the man them with the money and the power. What are you going to turn you against me? That hit me.
All people died in these waters. We deserve.
On a peaceful protest, just to swim. It is only to swim, and many of us can't swim. We're just going to dip in the water and walk on the sand.
They shouldn't be welcomed as leaders of the country, as representatives of the head of state. How these two young white people now going to be here saying we are going to kowtow to them and we are going to bend and bow and kneel to them as if they are gods. Those days are done. The monarchy is a relic. We should leave it behind. It's time for us to move forward and talk about the democratic process.
Rehabilitation works and was expected to reopen after 2 months. But now the people are concerned that the facility could soon be privatized, as they are yet to receive any updates on the progress of ongoing works.
NEPA is in charge of protecting the environment, but they are in the Ministry of Job Creation and Economic Growth. So what do you think is going to happen? They're going to trample on the rights of the people for profit.
Access to the road leading to the property has also been restricted, which for the people constitutes a breach of their rights.
This is a parish council road.
Right.
They have no legal right to block it up.
Yes! Yes, you're right.
It's a free access to the beach since we can visit our own beach.
This is made up.
This is totally wrong.
The people marched to the property to demand answers, but were restricted by iron barriers and a team of police personnel. And this was enough to add fuel to their fire.
So the question we must ask ourselves, where do we stand in this nation when the police is being sent out against us? We come in the name of Queen Nanny of the Maroons. We come in the name of Queen Nanny of the Maroons.
Said that after 8 months, the attraction
For the taxpayers of Jamaica, I just want to say we better get ready to start paying some high taxes because one, Hurricane Beryl come and do some whole heap of damage all over Jamaica, you see me? So you know them are going to increase taxes to help Jamaica to recover from the damages were done by Hurricane Beryl. That's a one. Jamaican government owe Vibes Cartel $150 million in a Vibes Cartel case we are going from last year or whatever. And that a two, that a second way the tax are going to increase. The third way, Jamaican government same one them rob up Usain Bolt. And you have to remember say we same one have to go pay back this money in the farmer taxes. So people of Jamaica, just get ready for tax increase drastically. You see me? Because all of them are going to raise taxes. So we still owe IMF and the Chinese billions of dollars. Plus Saudi Arabia want to take with South Coast and claim so them are going to give a loan. You see me? So I have more taxes that I go put on we now as the Jamaican people. All me can see you no better get ready to start pay a whole heap of taxes. Now I say we, because me a part of Jamaica too.
Now, also, Jamaicans in the diaspora stage a protest against the government whilst the government or the Prime Minister was away in the United States. So let's watch that particular video and we'll come back and talk about it.
All right, welcome back to SoFlo TV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. Listen, while the Prime Minister of Jamaica is somewhere in the United States of America collecting an honorary degree and giving a keynote speech, I believe it's at Delaware University or somewhere like that, I choose more to focus on the recent protest that took place. It says that members of the Jamaica diaspora on Friday held a demonstration and counter-protest on the streets in front of the Jamaica consulate in Manhattan, New York. One demonstration was organized by the Jamaica Diaspora Crime Intervention and Prevention Task Force that was led by Dr. Rupert Francis and Wilfred Rattigan. Listen, the media in Jamaica was trying to downplay this, saying that, only about 80 people showed up, and of the 80 people that showed up, there were 12 on the other side and 80 on one side. You can see by the video that it was more than 80 people there. Why the need to downplay it, to make it seem as if, it is so insignificant that barely anybody showed up? Yes, there could have been more people that showed up, but this video right here is a little bit of beat and teach. Alright, so for the longest, I have tried to get the Jamaican people who are living outside of Jamaica to understand how powerful they are. We've been told many times over by people who live in Jamaica and who have never left Jamaica or spend the greater deal of each year of their life in Jamaica, even though they might travel, that those of us who live outside of Jamaica have no right to speak about what is going on in Jamaica. You see the conundrum? You see the foolishness? Right. So I've been beating my brows trying to get my Jamaican people to understand that the most powerful group of Jamaicans are actually the group of Jamaicans who live outside of Jamaica. Quiet as kept. An education moment for many. Today you might have just found out that there are more Jamaicans living outside of Jamaica in other countries around the world than there are actual Jamaicans living in Jamaica. Now I want you to repeat this to yourself, and I want you to say it again. There are more Jamaicans living outside of Jamaica in other countries around the world than there are Jamaicans living in Jamaica. This is what makes them very powerful. Their remittance dollars is what makes them powerful. Remittance dollars means monies that are sent in cash, Western Union, MoneyGram, whatever ways you send cash, dollars, money, transfers, bank-to-bank transfers, looking after their family members and friends, and those funneling their income from overseas to invest in Jamaica by purchasing property and opening businesses, etc., etc. They are in a position of power in comparison to the Jamaicans that live in Jamaica. Now, please don't take this as a competition thing, because I don't want anybody to feel like I am pitting Jamaicans who live outside of Jamaica against Jamaicans who live inside of Jamaica. Quite to the contrary. My goal is to unite Jamaicans living outside of Jamaica with Jamaicans living inside of Jamaica, so them can stop call we foreigner. So they can stop looking at us as strange people and tourists. So we can work together to establish what will become a better Jamaica, not just for now, but for future generations to come. Now, this particular demonstration that was held in New York City recently, it was about violence, and it was about the climate of violence in Jamaica. Now, somebody might say, why are they so concerned about Jamaica if they don't live in Jamaica, especially when it comes to violence? Well, let me give you a little idea why. A lot of Jamaicans that left Jamaica for a better life. So a lot of people went off into the world, into countries whose money is worth a lot more than Jamaican money, into countries that had more opportunities to offer than Jamaica had to offer, but they never turned their backs on Jamaica. Most Jamaicans that leave Jamaica, their dream is to make it back to Jamaica one day after they had established themselves, full up a bank account somewhere, made enough money to be able to help not just themselves but others around them, and gain some expertise that they can teach as well along the way. So people have gone off to different trade schools, got their certifications. People have gone off to different colleges and universities and gotten their degrees, from lower level degrees all the way up to a doctorate degree, etc., etc., and has accomplished great things. People from Jamaica are now serving in every facet of life in, say, the United States of America, for example, where you have Jamaicans who are mayors of cities. You have Jamaicans who are CEOs of multi-million and billion-dollar companies. You have Jamaicans who are entrepreneurs who started a business from scratch and are now multi-millionaires in the United States of America and other countries in the world. And these Jamaicans all share something in common. Guess what it is? It relates to this protest. It's the great fear of returning to their homeland, Jamaica, with all good intentions to build up a trade school, to open up something where the youths in communities can vibe and come, a computer center, and learn. And then you are targeted. And then somebody say, yo, you know, say, him just come from foreign. Yeah, man, you know, say there's something when him build up over there, so, and the business when him up and down there, so. And then next thing you know, you are extorted, and you are robbed, and you are, God forbid, murdered. You know, those situations. So with the crime wave and the murder rate at the level that it is, and Jamaica being a place where we can clearly see that gangs are more in control than law enforcement is. Shout out to the law enforcement officials. Wanna get basket for carry water. Because let's take, for instance, the influx and the inflow of guns. Jamaica doesn't have any gun factories, yet Jamaica is loaded with guns. And guess who always has guns? The criminals. But then you have the FLA in Jamaica, who is very biased at how they give out the right to bear arms to the citizens, law-abiding, tax-paying citizens. So most of them are left at the mercy of armed gunmen who, in many cases, are not afraid to confront even law enforcement officials. It's a scary look for somebody who is looking to return home, to invest their monies they've made over the years, and to lend their expertise to the next generation coming up to make Jamaica a better place for now and for the future. This is one of the things that has been crippling Jamaica, because a lot of people who are highly skilled and highly learned in whatever the case the field may be, they have decided to never return to Jamaica again. And if they do, they are locked inside of an all-inclusive resort. They spend some time with the family. They barely venture out. So they are picked up at the airport. They are taken to their resort. They spend their time there. And then they are taken from the resort back to the airport when they leave. So they don't even see Jamaica anymore. And then for those who do venture out, do you know what it feels like to come home and you are so scared? You lock yourself in the house all day. After spending all year bragging in the US about how I can't wait to go to Jamaica and I have fun. And a lot of them come to Jamaica and then they're afraid to go outside and afraid to really go somewhere. Yeah, you might go down the road and go get some food here and this there, but you're not out and about like you would want to be. In a time gone by, we used to be able to be out and about. I'm talking about being out under the stars, partying till morning light, people of all ages, right? And the soup man, and the jerk pan, and the bar sell off, and it's a good vibe, and no crime and no violence, and these kind of things. Nowadays, people are skeptical and people are scared. Jamaica comfortably does over 1,100 murders every single year and has done so for well over 15 to 20 years now. This is something that a lot of people overlook. So I've always wondered, why do all these high-profile people visit Jamaica and say they care about Jamaicans, yet they never address the government's inability to curb the murder rate in the country? And that curbing the murder rate in the country thing is not just a gang problem. It's a multifaceted problem. It is a dragon that has 7 heads for real. For instance, let's talk about one angle, which is reprisal killings. The laws in Jamaica do not fit modern day times. And the system, as far as surveillance goes, as far as law enforcement, investigation, gathering evidence, etc. goes, if a man's family members are killed and then he gets no justice because he sees the murderer walk free or the murderer is never caught, yet a lot of people know where he lives or where he resides or where he circles every day, his whereabouts, it's only a matter of time before the matter is taken into one's own hands, because justice must be served whether by the hook or by the crook, whether it's jungle justice or we wait on the system. And then let's talk about the lapse laws. Say a man rapes your daughter and then he is hit with 3 to 5 years in prison and he is right back out. And then he is made to live in whatever community he feels like living in. Could you imagine if he chooses to come and live right next door to you again? You know, there are so many things that lead to the state of how the thing is running right now and has been running for the longest in Jamaica. We can go on and on with many different examples of many different situations, but I want everybody to understand that the people who are Jamaican, who are outside of Jamaica, the most powerful group of Jamaicans, are starting to wake up. They are starting to realize that they can unite and they can make changes and their voices can be heard and their remittance dollars do count, and it does go a long way if they only unite and stand up. So what you saw recently in New York was an attempt to do exactly that. I won't speak anymore on this topic for now. I want to hear your comments on this topic. Are you a Jamaican who understands the crime climate in Jamaica and agrees that something needs to be done about the bloodletting? Are you a Jamaican who just feels like, I'm not bothered? Which one are you? Are you a Jamaican that left Jamaica many moons ago and you would like to return, and you would like for this to be the place that you actually one day retire to and live out the rest of your days, but you are too afraid to do it because you do not want to be a victim of crime and violence? Leave your comments in the comment section below.
Welcome back. So over a few weeks ago, there has been series of demonstration on the internet that we have witnessed. This came from the people of Kenya, that is the Gen Z generation in Kenya, who staged a protest against their government, and this has really yielded results for them. So a lot of countries are emulating this, mostly West African countries, Nigeria, Ghana, and so they are also planning series of protests and demonstrations against their governments because the governments are not helping them. They are doing things the way they want, inflicting taxes and hardship on the people in the various respective countries. But these youths are standing up in order to demand better for themselves from the government. Now, in this particular video, Jamaicans also have staged these protests in order to address some of the issues that is bothering them. Now, first of all, that we'll talk about was that of the electricity crisis that happened because of the hurricane that hit Jamaica. That is the Hurricane Beryl. Now it hit Jamaica very, very hard, and it has caused very devastating damage to the people in Jamaica, to a lot of properties, and most especially the electricity in some parts of Jamaica is not working. But after weeks of this Hurricane Beryl's devastating effect, electricity has not been restored to some parts of Jamaica. So these people, or these Jamaicans who were badly affected, took to the street in order to demand that their electricity is being fixed earlier for them, because in this 21st century it will be very difficult for you to live in without electricity. Life without electricity will be a very difficult thing to live in this 21st century. So the people of Jamaica are really fed up with things that are happening in the country. A lot of Jamaicans, particularly the youth, would have to travel out of the country to other parts of the world in order to seek greener pastures. Why should it happen so? Because the government is not helping the people in Jamaica, and the livelihood of the people, or the people who stay in Jamaica, is not that wealth emulating, let me put it that way. So a lot of the youth have to travel out of the country in order for them to make life better, and this is not a good sign for majority of Jamaicans who live in the diaspora. So Jamaicans in the diaspora always stand on their feet, come together and protest so that the country's leaders will be able to put things right, so that the citizenry will be able to benefit from interventions that the government is putting in place. Now, when this government is not put on its toes, they just do things their own way, and the country continue to ravage in poverty. The living conditions of the people will not be the best. So that is why Jamaicans in the diaspora always protest in order for the government to live up to expectation. Also, living in the diaspora, I'm not sure is something that Jamaicans really like, but because of the financial conditions in Jamaica, or economic conditions, they are forced to live in other man's land or someone's land, and they would really want to come back home after they have worked in the diaspora for some time to enjoy their retirement back home. So it is up to the government to make the country better so that these Jamaicans in the diaspora could come back and live a better life in the country of Jamaica. That is why they always put the government on their toes, and I believe they are a force to reckon with, in the sense that they have gone out there to see things that are happening in the other parts of the world, and they will be able to put the government on its toes. Because if you look at the indigenous people, even though they can do something, but the voice of the people in the diaspora, I am sure, really shakens the government very, very well. So that is why they staged this particular demonstration. Now, there was one demonstration that the Maroons also staged that I would like to talk about, because lands that belong to them was being given to mining companies for these companies to extract minerals from the land. And when these companies extract minerals from the land, they will definitely pay royalties to the government. But you and I know that these royalties that these companies pay to the government are just something, a token, something so small that in the end, the indigenous people of the land will not be able to have anything beneficial, anything substantial from the exploitation of the minerals from the land. And their land will be given to these companies, whereas these foreign companies get majority of the minerals, the benefit from these minerals, and the indigents will not be able to get anything from it. I think that the government needs to really rethink about things like this before going into such agreement and giving lands to mining companies to work on, and then the indigenous people are being left out and their lands are being seized from them. I don't think this is a good thing that is happening. Also, with regards to policemen who are used against protesters, I think this is not right. Now, the politicians are the ones in authority. They are the ones controlling almost everything going around. They are the people stealing the money, yet they will use the police again against the public so that they will not be able to even protest. These things should not happen. These things should not happen. Protests are meant to put the government on its toes so that they work very hard for the citizens to benefit from. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching this video up to this point. Don't forget to like the video and also share to your friends and your family. Don't forget to also subscribe to the channel. Just click the subscribe button down here. Click on the subscribe button. Click as well on the notification bell. And I'd like to see you again in my next video.